Okay, so just so you guys can see all the damage that was done by this, what happened is I slid probably close to 80 yards before I hit the boulder, a patch of boulders, and I slid probably another 40 yards past that, and as I came out the back side of that boulder patch, I could see my leg was just hanging. So the major injury is this, and they did an open reduction internal or external fixation, so these rods are holding all the bones inside the leg in the correct position anatomically. Then after I got back up to the boulder patch, I made a tourniquet out of my boot lace to put around this to slow the blood flow that was going out. My ankle was holding on by about this much skin and Achilles tendon and all the nerves and arteries and everything that goes through the back of the leg.
Wiggle your toes.
So it's a miracle that I have movement. I can feel touch. Everything's good there. They put in some antibiotic cement to do a heavy concentration of antibiotics at the location where the bone is missing. I'll show you that chunk of bone that I picked up. I also got up to the top, and this laceration is probably about 8-9 inches long, just flayed open my arm. I could see all the muscles in there, I could see the artery beating, everything like that. My bicep was ripped open and a chunk of muscle was hanging out of it. It doesn't look like a very muscly bicep, but there was some muscle that came out with it. This side, this whole side is bruised. Came out really clean, so my IV and everything was in this location.
Not broken.
Not broken. They did some x-rays. I can't put pressure on it this way, so we had to get a special attachment for the walker so I could rest on my forearm instead of on my actual hand here. This leg came out really good. Just some minor scratches and some swelling of the foot. So luckily this foot was good, and that's what made it so I could climb back up the mountain using my knee on my bad leg and my foot on my good leg to climb up that 40 yards. Took me about 45 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes to get back up to the boulder field where I fell through and everything went every which direction. And right now we're waiting about a month and a half. Or sorry.
A week and a half.
Right now we're waiting about a week and a half. Once the swelling goes down on the external fixation, they were actually able to close it up and do everything that way to help minimize the chance of infection. But in a week and a half, when I go back in, they'll be able to determine if the foot can be saved. So they'll take a bone chunk out of my hip, and they'll replace the bone cement that's in there right now with actual viable bone and be able to hopefully restore functionality and everything else to it. So
other than that, just bruises.
Just cuts and bruises.